A lot.
Dude, the boss don't make any money. The investor does. Don't be the boss. Don't be the CEO.
People are afraid to invest because there's a lot of different investments. They don't want to lose money.
Yeah.
I don't want them to lose money. You don't want to lose money. But why do you think people are afraid to just talk about money, to make decisions on investing money? They're scared to go earn more. Why are people afraid of money in general, do you think?
Well, I can tell you, for me, like I was always scared of money, you know, and I was terrified of it. So like if you look at, still today, like I look at the bill of everything. It's a
bill of everything?
If something costs something, I want to know how much it was. And so, like, how much is it? Like, I'm going to ask that question, whether it matters or not. It doesn't matter where I get in my life. I don't think I'm ever going to be free of how much was that?
How much is the dinner? How much was
dinner? How much was the tip? How much was the coat? How much was the jacket? What did, me and Elena, like Elena's like, hey, it's going to be fine, man. Like, look at what you've done. We cannot spend this. And I'm like, how much was it? I want to know how much it was, because when I grew up, you had to know what things cost. And so the point, your question about money is a terrifying thing, because it's the one thing in life that everybody gets money. It's the one place where everybody gets it, and now what do I do? And I can lose it now. So it's a terrifying concept, like power. You know, very few of us ever get any kind of influence or power, right? Once you get it, you're like, hey, what do I do with this? You know, am I going to do it? Am I going to do the right things with it? And so I think people withhold themselves because we're not educated about money. We don't know where it comes from. We have a lot of misinformation about it. Our parents terrified us. You know, money doesn't grow on trees. Save your money, it'll save you. All these things our parents told us because they were enamored or encumbered with the same kind of liabilities around money.
Right.
I don't know how to get it. I don't know how to keep it. And the worst part that we're all at is I don't know how to invest it.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is some people get good at getting it. Very few, actually. Fewer people at keeping it, but probably more than getting it. There's probably a big group in America that have learned how to keep money.
Because they're afraid to lose it.
They don't want to invest it. They don't want to use it. They don't want to, Kanye talks about this, how white people save all their money. And they just keep it. They just store it. Like I had an uncle, he buried everything he ever made. It went in the backyard.
Wow.
The other uncle was he was a guy that bought, he worked hard, very, very frugal. He actually never sold anything. But that was the concept, buy low. Buy the cheapest, lowest, get everything on a deal. If there's food stamps to be gotten, you go get those food stamps. If there's a government deal, get it. If it's Section 8 and the government will pay you, pay it. So both these guys, different kind of mentalities, were extremely frugal. My other uncle worked in a refinery. He basically saved all his money, paid everything off, got out of debt. That was their lifestyle. My dad died when I was 10. So he paid all his debt off, had everything paid. And so that's all I had, right? Everybody around me was like, get money,
keep it,
don't use it, but you should invest, but nobody ever learns that third one. And so I think we're just a bunch of people walking around terrified. And it's not, there's nothing scarce about it.
Didn't they just print more in the last couple of years?
We printed more. I think we printed more money since the last time I was with you than they printed in the last 100 years.
That's crazy.
Since I saw you last.
That's nuts.
So everybody should have got a pay raise. Very few people ever had that emergency. Everybody hears about it. Oh yeah, my guy got in a bad, this happened, blah, blah, blah.
Car accident or this.
But if you had assets, if you'd been investing in assets, you can always go use those assets for collateral to solve your cancer surgery.
You can get a loan out from the bank.
100%. Or if you just took the money that you earned and keep reinvesting in assets that pay you, not assets that you wish one day will pay you, but assets that pay you every month. If you keep investing in that asset class, one day your cash flow will be your emergency account. My emergency account last month paid me $1.6 million. My cash flow, my free cash flow.
That's crazy.
That's no work involved. That is not 1 second of one day. Okay, and that happens every single month in my place. But that's been because I made a bunch of investments for the last, 25 years.
Right.
End of every year, I dump all my cash out every year. I'm like, you need to get as close to zero as you can. And replace it with assets that in January, if I dump out in December, January, I want a payment from that. Okay, it's not because I'm worried about any more money anymore. I know for sure the money's going down in value. Everybody knows that this year. Your money is depreciating, right? It's dropping down in value. What you were told that is 100 grand is not 100 grand. The bank's not even telling you the truth. It's 100 less 11,000.
It's 11% right now?
Could be 34% less. Some people think it's going down 34%.
That's crazy.
But you're going to still see 100 because this is invisible taxing, right? It's inflation.
Wow.
So I know that. I know it's not 100. So when you guys look at your checking, I got 180,000. You're lying to yourself because you're not doing all the math on money. This is why Mike Saylor went and took all that money he had and invested in Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, yeah. Because
he's done the research. So I would listen to him, and I'm not saying you guys should go buy Bitcoin, but I'm not buying Bitcoin at those levels. Okay, I'm buying assets that can provide me with more cash, with more income. Maybe I should be buying Bitcoin. I don't know. But anyway, so I dumped this out. I dumped this for now. I've been shopping this piece of real estate for 19 months. I've been working this deal for 19 months. Wow. So I'm not being like, okay, I just got to go buy something. I'm not going to do that. But I'm trying to get rid of this cash to go into an asset that has the potential to go up in value over time. I dump out in January. Okay, I do 3 webinars. That's why everybody wants to know, man, what's the rush to make more money? Because I'm broke, man.
Why is it important for people to be investing in real estate now? Like if you could do it now, and should they do it on their own in terms of like, okay, I'm going to buy my own apartment building or my own house and do kind of the Airbnb thing? What about that strategy?
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's a good. But you just went from having a job to a second job.
Because now you're managing the property.
You're managing it. You're handling problems. You're collecting rents. It's another job. Actually, that's probably not going to be even included as passive income.
Interesting.
So there's a lot of people in multi-level marketing that say that they have passive income. I'm like, that's not passive income. That's residual income, not passive income.
What's the difference between passive and residual income?
Passive income is I make an investment and somebody sends me a check. Residual income, and it could be residual, it could be repeating, recurring, right?
Right.
But if I go collect the rent, paint the place, put in the tenant, that's not passive, that's active income. I had to rent it, I had to collect it. You're trading time for money.
You had to market it, you had to do all these
What
things.
you get from me is passive. You don't decide what color the paint on the building is.
No.
You hadn't even been to the building.
No.
So the CEO of Coca-Cola made $50 million last year. A lot of money, right? Okay, that's earned income. Government's going to take half of it. Warren Buffett invested in Coca-Cola. He was paid $508 million.
Come on.
Last year. That's passive income.
As a dividend?
Yes.
And he doesn't have to pay tax on it?
You know how many people on the internet want to be the boss?
A lot.
Dude, the boss don't make any money. The investor does. Don't be the boss. Don't be the CEO. There's so much confusion in the marketplace. Be the investor.
Yeah.
Just invest. And what does Warren do? Warren is how I got in real estate. I started buying real estate because I studied the old man.
What do you
The old man, when I would read, well, the old man's only invested in stocks, right? I'm like, I'm not going to do stocks because I don't like them. But what I wanted to learn from Warren Buffett, what was he doing? What was the consistent patterns of what he invested in? All companies that had been around a long time. He did not buy the cheapest company. He never looked for what my uncle looked for. He didn't buy low and sell high.
What was he doing?
He bought fair value at a fair price. He bought the best quality at a fair price. He didn't look for the lowest price. He wasn't looking for the day a stock went down to $1. He's never done that. Coca-Cola, Candies, Apple Computer. He didn't buy Apple Computer for years until he understood that Apple Computer was a cash flow company because of iTunes.
Wow.
That it wasn't a computer company. It was a cash flow generating machine. When I read that, I'm like, dang, dude, everything he buys is really real estate. You see, so I'm like, okay, I cannot buy a big enough position. I'm not rich enough to get a big position at Coca-Cola. I don't get on the inside. I'm a little guy, right? So I'm never going to get access to Wall Street. Goldman Sachs isn't going to call me and say, hey, we got this deal going, man. It's going to be the next Coca-Cola, right? I'm never going to get that call. So what can I buy that's like Warren? Oh, real estate, man. I can buy the 26 units in San Diego because I know the neighborhood. I grew up there and I spent some time there. So I know that. So I can buy that. I can go to the bank. I can get a good loan on it and it cash flows. And that's how I started buying real estate.